I am sending out this video in hopes that everyone that listens to it will listen to exactly what I'm saying because it's important. The events that have been unfolding recently in the news, and I'm sure everyone is aware of, as far as September 11th and New Orleans and the tsunami in Sri Lanka, were not accidents. They were planned and have been planned for several years. I had planned on writing down these documents and publishing them for everyone to be able to read because I think it's important for everyone to have a voice. However, one such person who was working with me through FEMA and had access to particular documents was reassigned at the last minute to be the head of security at Twin Towers. And as the head of security at Twin Towers, we all know what happened there. He has since been killed. All of his documents have been burned, destroyed, confiscated, etc. Since I was working with him to disseminate this information, my home has been, what's the word that they used? It was occupied. My assets have all been frozen, and I have been forced to flee from my home. The documents that I did have on my hard drive were all taken or destroyed. Documents which would prove that the events of 9/11 as well as New Orleans had been planned as sort of a psychological warfare against the human public. You are all considered lab rats, you're all considered fodder, and your lives are useless insofar as unless you're working for making money, gasoline, taxes, electricity bills. If you've noticed, all of your bills have been going up lately. That's all planned and manipulated. Sri Lanka, the tsunami, it was created by something that's called fracture theory. And you can create fractures in pretty much anything and predict when and how they will self-destruct. And tectonic plates were measured, studied, and bombs were put in fractures underneath the ocean to create the tsunami. Once the tsunami was put on the news for everyone to see, the events in New Orleans wouldn't seem as catastrophic because you've already been acclimated to accept death by water, which, if you hadn't seen that first, which is called acclimation in psychological terms, would have been probably a lot more catastrophic. They were displaced and scattered away from their homes. It's been planned for about 15 years. Plans that were in place were for the Army Corps of Engineers to come in and create a false sense of security in the American public, or at least the public of New Orleans, to think that they were safe, but they weren't, because the levees were designed from conception to fail, knowing full well after Sri Lanka that once this event happened, that New Orleans would be flooded, these people would be displaced. There's so much that I need to get out, and I